Hey, what's up, guys? Right now, I'm gonna talk about the six-legged creatures. Okay. Um, I want to first talk about an experience I had 2 weeks before finding out that there were six-legged creatures in on this planet. I was at the beach. I was with my family, and we were having a nice time at the sunset on the beach. And we just everybody went inside to do dinner, to have dinner, and I stayed to continue watch to continue to I stayed to watch the sunset, and um, before it was totally dark. I saw this dog walking on the beach, and it was black, pitch black, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I think it's my family's dog. They had two dogs. So I started screaming, "Toby, Toby, Toby this and Toby that, just come here, little prank." And it didn't come. It didn't answer my calls. And when I realized I wasn't talking to my dog, I first thought that ran through my mind was that I should have my camera on with me, and I didn't. It was like, I'm not from the generation that walks with iPhones in the pocket. Although I am starting to do this because I'm starting to tape all these weird objects in the sky and stuff, and it's all real. Like many videos out there of planets or orbs approaching Earth and stuff like that, and everybody thinks it's a hoax. It's not. At least a part of it is not a hoax. But anyway, I've been taping much more lately. Just at the time, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't have my phone with me. It was at my house. My family was there, and they were having dinner. Well, the good news is I saw this dog, started screaming Toby Toby, and it jumped about 10 meters to the left and 3, 4, 5 meters towards the sea, into the sea. And when I saw this happening, I saw it had six legs very clearly, and I saw that it went into the sea, right? So what dog goes into the sea and doesn't come back? So I stayed there for a couple of minutes or 10 maybe, and I just stared at the place he jumped into, and I was like, okay, this is not real. When I realized it was real, and I was just staring at it like a fool, I just ran into my house, caught my iPhone, and took some pictures of the footprints. By this time, my family was very curious why I hadn't had lunch. So they asked me, why didn't you have lunch? And I said, you guys have to see this. And we went and we took pictures of the footprints. Everybody did. My sister did. My mother did. And ended up that everybody believed my story because I'm going to try to get these pictures from my cloud. But if I don't, anyway, you just have to believe in me. And if you do have a similar story, please post it or message me. I am desperate because the only relation to this story I ever found was a logo from a company and a very weird story from 4chan. Okay, so let's go into the story again. So let's just finish it. My family and I, we were taking pictures of the footprints, and that was about it. We went home and we had a lot of pictures of footprints, weird ones. Like it walked in threes, it was a six-legged creature, a dog. Apparently, it had a tail. It was a dog, but it was pitch black. And I didn't see its eyes, never saw its eyes. And well, um, at the time I asked all the folks from the beach. It was a private beach. That's one of the reasons I think this animal or this thing, this jinn, maybe this genie, it was there because it was a private beach. The only person there at the time was me, and I asked the folks who work at the beach. They told me it's normal. They sometimes see a black pitch dog walking around the beach, but it's a dog. That's in their impression, in their mind, it's a dog. I think they never saw it go into the ocean. Anyway, so this is the story I have. If you have a similar story or if you have had any similar encounter, please post it and share with us. So let's take a look at these couple of logos I found on the internet and logos and pictures of similar animals. We have this logo from this company. The name of the company is Eni, I don't know, ENI, right? We're gonna go and talk about their what they do. But anyway, it's a pitch black dog with six legs, and it throws fire out of its mouth, which means maybe that it's a jinn. Okay, this is the only clue or any relation we can make to what I saw. I have seen many jinns in my life before, and they are all pitch black, and they can transform into anything they want. For example, if they want to look like your mother, or if they want to look like your father, or anybody that you know, they can, and they stop being pitch black to become colored. Okay, and they when they return to their original form, they are pitch black. Maybe because they're in fourth or fifth dimension and we don't see things very well after 20,000 hertz, right? If they are above 20,000 hertz, we're gonna see it we're gonna see it black, you know. Okay, so maybe it's a jinn. That was my conclusion. That is still my conclusion. They still see it there, you know. But anyway, there are a lot of oil platforms that are being built at this beach or close to this beach, so maybe they have drawn out something out of the ocean. You know, this is what I think. I maybe it's this is what I think is more realistic to the jinn. Okay, because the jinns, they are realistic, but nobody ever sees jinns. Nobody ever talks to jinns. Well, in general, nobody ever sees or talks to jinns. It's not a normal thing. You know, it's just not a normal thing. So this is not so realistic. It's interesting, but it's not so realistic. The most realistic thing I have is that they're building these oil platforms and smuggling sand close to this beach, a lot of sand. So they may have destroyed all the inner environment from the sea there, and this creature may have ended up on the beach. You know, some people even may say that it's a mermaid dog. I wouldn't tell you it isn't. I don't know. It could be. You know. Okay. So there's these other creatures that are computer graphics. Of course, we have or drawings. You know, we have these mythical creatures. You know, we can never discard them because myths are always usually lost stories. You know, some of them are usually myths just to make your children go to sleep, or some of them are really forgotten stories, right? We have these all these mammals with six legs, and one of the things that I thought was very interesting is that we have more than one six-legged dog. You know, we have this dog that was put into a museum, a open museum. It's six-legged. Also, you know, we have this other dog. It's a drawing. I don't know exactly from. It's a blogspot drawing, and it's a six-legged dog. Okay, so it's probable that not only it's probable that my story is not the only one, and I'm waiting, and this is my opportunity to post this video and get a feedback from you guys. You know, I don't want any negative feedback. Well, anyway, guys, back to the story. There are there are loads of non-evidence about these six-legged creatures, although some sightings. Let's take a look at the story from this boy, this man, this teenager who describes a six-legged rape centaur. It's not a funny story. The name is kind of attracting, but it's not a funny story. It's not nice to read it, but it's not also an awful story and a ridiculous one, you know. So let's take a look at this video we have online already with a robotic voice reading the story for us. The interesting thing is, before I start the story, I want to show you that there is a person who read the story on 4chan a couple of years ago and who believed the story and went after this Virginia six-legged rape centaur, and he never showed up again. So his brother, he posted on 4chan that his brother was missing for a couple of months, and this never happened before, and he went after the monster, right? So what the fuck happened, right? And we have these loads of I'm showing you right now. We have these loads of answers about it, you know, and simply, you know, people aren't, you know, some people believe in it, some people don't, but usually, um, there are a couple of posts where people comment that they read the story at the time and it seemed real, you know, by the description. And so I just, well, let's take a look at the story, at the original story.
I'd like to start off by saying I don't have a fucking clue why I'm posting this on /x/ or really at all. Maybe I'm afraid of dying or something. The events described in the story happened a month and a half ago. I'm in Shannondale, West Virginia, although I've typed this up about 2 weeks ago. I just haven't really had the guts to post this until what happened yesterday. The story starts out in late December, when my family went to go visit our relatives. who visited us up to celebrate one of them, Desiree, getting like $2,000 in some scratch-off lottery thing. They lived in this really fucking shitty part of Shannondale that people from Charlestown, Shepherdstown, and Ranson, probably the least rednecky parts of WV, like to call Squalor Holler. It's way up on the mountain, and exactly like how everybody pictures it when they hear about it. Nothing but ramshackle shacks, rusty ass rebuilt trailers, everything fucking covered in decades-old Christmas decorations because they're all too busy being smelly rednecks to ever clean up. Real deliverance shit, just no rivers or canoes. The relatives we were visiting are absolutely confirmed inbreeders, all cousins fucking each other. We don't refer to them as aunt, uncle, or whatever, just relatives. Not terrible people or anything, just absolutely cartoonish, depressing hillbilly stereotypes. So anyway, we are up here in this godforsaken trailer. It sucks. There's 8 of them, plus me, my dad, my mom, and my sister. About 2 hours in, my mom takes my cell phone so that I can focus on family time together, which is bullshit. All we did the whole time was eat TV dinners and be forced to watch NASCAR and shit. After like 6 hours of this shit, about 10 minutes before we're supposed to leave, it starts raining. We know how treacherous the roads can get up on the mountain, so we decide to wait for the rain to die down. Flash forward 2 hours later and it's fucking dark as hell, 10 o'clock, and there's no flood warning for the area. I have my phone back by this time. No reception though, of course. I'm playing Tetris and Texas Hold'em and stuff when suddenly I hear my dad start losing his shit in the next room. I walk over, and as it turns out that they had let slip that they had buried their kid Thomas outside and apparently were afraid the rain would wash up his body or some other horse shit. The kid was like 6. He was attacked by a dog, and they never told the cops, just fucking buried him like he was a family pet. My dad's flipping his shit, and rightfully so, because, you know, we live in the 21st century and all, so our relatives all say they'll sort it out in the morning. My parents tell me that my sister and my sister to stay in the same room as them during the night, and we do. None of us really suspected that they'd killed Thomas or anything since they're really peaceful. They didn't even own any guns aside from the one old-timey double-barreled shotgun they had on a mantle. Nevertheless, we were creeped the fuck out and intended to tell the cops in the morning once we got to town. So it was like 3 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. Power had gone out for the 5th time or so, and I'm not able to charge my dead phone. Worst part is I could see Thomas's little grave outside the window, little cross on it and everything, and I assume this kid couldn't have been buried deep at all since they were so worried about him just washing up out of his grave. So I was just fixated on it, kept being drawn to looking out the window, and then I saw the worst fucking thing of my life. Something was creeping through the trees towards the house. I stared at it for a while but couldn't get the look at it because it was raining and the brush was so thick. After a few minutes I assumed it was 2 really pale horses kind of ambling through the woods side by side, but then it walked up into the moonlight and I saw that it was all one thing, like a kind of human torso, but wider. It finally stepped into view and I saw it had something like 6 legs, kind of somewhere between a beetle's legs and a horse legs. 2 right arms, right where someone would normally have them, but they were about half a foot longer than any normal man's arms. It had a bald head and the face looked like some sort of fucking bizarre masquerade ball kind of mask. This fucking clenched up forward forehead and a nose that looked like some sort of crow's or a raven's beak. It didn't have eyes either, just like the depressions where eyes would go. It looked like it had a human mouth underneath its proboscis. What still strikes me to this day is that it seemed to have a penis too, like right on the abdomen where a normal person's dick would be. The thing moved sort of gracefully and made the soft thumping noise when it moved. It must have been like 7-8 feet tall, but surrounded like it weighed maybe only 150 pounds at most. It starts walking towards Thomas' grave, and then I finally snap out of whatever trance I was in and just scream. My mom was the first to wake up, and I tell her to look out the window. She rushes over and doesn't seem to understand what she's looking at. After a minute, though, the thing bends down and starts pawing at the grave with its hand. My dad and Jasper rush in, and Jasper just fucking losing his shit. Screams like a little girl, runs back out of the room yelling for his father, yelling, "It's outside, it came, and it's outside!" I look back and see the thing is digging furiously at the ground, kicking up huge mounds of dirt. I hear these sounds of feet running around the house. I think they're looking for the shotgun. The thing reaches into the hole and grabs what I assume was Thomas's body by the leg in one hand. The thing kind of gallops back into the woods, stamping all the branches and shit. And then that's when we hear it, a kid crying. The sound of a child sobbing and crying from the direction that the thing took off in. We left as soon as the rain let up, at like 5 a.m. I don't think we've told anyone at the house. Drove straight back to Ranson, only stopping for gas. No one said a word to each other. My family refuses to speak about what happened. I tried to bring it up once just to make sure it was real. My dad told me to shut the fuck up, so I did. I typed this up about 3 weeks after it happened, but just saved it to a notepad file and left it alone. Never mentioned it to any of my friends or anything, just tried to erase it from my mind by getting absolutely fucked up drunk whenever my thoughts lingered on it. It mostly worked, up until yesterday. So I work at this gas station in Ranson from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. I work at the register, keep the place clean, and take out the trash. Yesterday, when I was bringing the trash bags over the back of the building for the dude in the morning to take care of, I heard what I assumed to be some kind of junkie fucking around in the dumpster. I yelled whoever it was a couple of times to get the hell out before I called the cops. But as I walked towards the source of the noise, I suddenly heard some footsteps. The soft thump-thump, hooves or feet or whatever the hell they were. I turned right around and went back into the store and hid behind the counter. I look over the outside security monster and see some kind of movement just off screen. Something huge casting a shadow and moving. Catch a glimpse of it. I don't know, an elbow or something? A pale limb, darting in and out of view. It had to have been the same thing. I waited for it to leave, and after a while, it did. I woke up behind the counter at 6 a.m. this morning, and to my manager giving me this fucking look like I'm a drug addict or something. Went home, typed the rest of it up, and that's about it.
Let's wake the fuck up, dude. Guys, when I see these posts like, "Hey, fuck you, this is a ridiculous story," like, why the fuck would this guy post this ridiculous story if he's not getting anything with it? Nothing. For example, I just told you my six-legged dog story. What am I going to get with it? Comments saying that I'm crazy for sure, and that's not good for our mental health. So, what I'm actually looking after is somebody who would have a similar story and who would tell me, look, I've seen something like this. Thing is that's exactly what's happening in 4chan. This boy or this man, he posted about this six-legged rape centaur, and on the expectation that he would have some answers, and he didn't. Well, he didn't have any answers, and that's where the story ends. So please, if you have any positive comments to do or anything to add to both of these stories, the six-legged dog or the six-legged rape centaur, please do help us understand what these creatures are. Are they jinns? Are they paranormal beings? Or are they genetic modifications? Or are they something we don't know about? Okay? Thank you very much for watching.